Hello, and welcome to Emerald Thoth with me, Mark, and another edition today of Messages for You Cosmic Travellers. So, no messages to start off with, but as we know, messages always come along the way. So today I'm going to go with the Time Traveller's Oracle and the Astro Matrix and the Affirmator's Tarot. I'm going to do a read where I take 3 of the Time Traveller's Oracle cards, and then from there a couple of tarot cards on each of those cards to try and get some more information for you. The theme of today's reading is a little bit going to be on where are you going with the Time Traveller's Oracle, what portals are opening up for you, what quantum leaps you are making, or simply where you're travelling to in the 3D or just in your mind space. We don't always have to travel physically to travel. Okay, so Spirit, if I could get some Oracle cards for the viewer. Cards wanting to pop out but not popping out. There's one. One more, please, Spirit. Okay. The bottom of the deck is Adventure. Maybe the card that has come up most from the Time Traveller's Oracle for me in all of these reads. Number 3, sense of community, sense of creation. Again, a sense of movement. The camel here, slow and steady movement, but empowered movement with the yellow and the solar plexus chakra. This is the Silk Road in Mongolia, so it's a movement towards riches as well, which is what the Silk Road was in ancient times. It's a very prosperous adventure that you're on and that you continue to be on. I'm going to flip the cards around now and then get the tarot cards to elaborate a bit more on what's come up here. Very interesting. First thing that really stands out here is a lot of pink and a lot of love and higher heart chakra. You're heading towards love and romance, and this can be love with the universe, this can be love with yourself, this can be love with somebody else. I think it's divine universal love that you're embodying and reflecting in your world. It starts in it gives me a more grounded sense, this love with the Taj Mahal number 25. Even though there's a rainbow colour, there's a sense of abundance and prosperity in there from that reflection. But this building, this was a big feat of love by the Raj here for his wife that was deceased. You know, it's a massive feat of love. You are building a temple of love, and you probably are that temple of love, and whoever fits that palace will come along. But you know, if not, then not so. It gives a sense of the Holy Spirit as well. There's doves, there's white, there's purity. There are 3 here. One is a reflection in the water, but there's 3 doves here. Again, a sense of community and a sense of sharing that love and this sense of spirituality with others who share that similar divine sense of love with you, not just a human earthly sense of love, which can be quite contorted, and the reflection is not so pure as here, but you're looking for those who give a pure reflection back to you, and you're building a house, a community, a sense, a connection of love. And by that connection, just to elaborate, I mean really a connection with the divine and a connection within yourself, that you embody love and that unfolds in the 3D material world as you go. Beautiful. The next one is Stillness, a Zen monastery in Japan, which comes back to that divine link. It's you've got the cherry blossoms, it's all fallen on the ground, and this monkeys is just still within that Zenness. This has nobody else around. And so in here it's you know, a sense of peace. By the moonlight, you're guided through the dark, you're guided through the unconscious, you're guided through the things you cannot see with love, and that is through stillness. And this is through a cultivation of your connection with spirit. The most simplest way for us to really connect with spirit is stillness. There are trance, methods and dancing like salsa can bring you closer to the divine, and so can exercise. These are forms of meditation as well. But the most predominant way that we know to connect with spirit is often through stillness, to be still, to be centered, and to allow messages to come in. And that would speak to how monks would operate. And so you're embodying this kind of divine sense of love, again with this pink, and you're doing it in realms that may be unseen. You're doing it by your own light, you're reflecting it as well. The moon is one of the biggest reflectors that we know, close to us, of the sun. So you are like a reflection of that source consciousness, and you're guiding through your own light and your own shadow, through stillness, through meditation, through connection with the Creator. And with that is number 4, boundaries, the Great Wall of China. This is embodying that kind of strength as you go on an adventure. So this comes after that. You know, as you go along, you have these boundaries. As you move, you look to feel safer by having these walls up, in a sense. And sometimes we do need walls up, but as long as they're necessary, as long as they're in love. Again, you know, this is a similar kind of cherry blossom theme here. If we see all of these, there is a lot of pink. And it's saying there's a lot of pink, there's a lot of higher heart chakra opening. This is more the kind of flow of love and the effigies and the creations towards it. This is more a cultivation of love within yourself and within the divine and with this in stillness and silence. And this is saying a cultivation of love for yourself and your empowerment, and to be able to foster those relationships, to give some boundaries to this, to give it a container as such. And so those boundaries help you foster relationships of love and to recognize those reflections that aren't so purely loving. So with stilling those waters, you're able to then move and set up the boundaries and set up the material ways that you can let love in, but also not let in what is not love. It's a mouthful. So let's take some tarot cards to elaborate a bit further, to affirm a bit further, and I'll start with the Affirmators Tarot. Source Universe, first of all. You want me to give a little bit of an extra shuffle? Okay. Alright, let's see if we're going to get one each for these oracle cards, or however many that come out. So for the love card, I think that's 2. Let's see for the stillness card, please, Spirit. The card that came out for that one is already turned and flipped, and it's flipped for a reason, and it's come out fast as the 10 of Cups. So again, if you want to talk about love, one of the biggest cards about love in the deck, and this is got loads of love hearts on this particular one, so this is coming. I'll move on to that in a second. Strength, you're embodying strength, is at the bottom of the deck. This is, again, it comes to the stillness, you're embodying that strength to hold that love, to be a reflection of that love, to walk in divine sense of love, a higher sense of love, a higher vibration of love, which would be the pink that relates to the higher heart chakra. And just as I kind of cut that, you know, I see the sun as well, that just shows to me as I put the deck down. It just wants to show that the sun is there as well. The sun is there for you. This is pink, the higher heart chakra is there. It's quite content as well. It's not just like a big bright, it is big and bright, but it's not just all of that. It's a more content kind of love. The sun is in that content kind of warmth, and I just feel the sun come on me now with a content kind of warmth, not glaring heat, not coldness, just a nice kind of constant, consistent warmth, a well-balanced Leo kind of energy, if you will. So 3 cards have come up for the love oracle card. And so we have the 5 of Swords in the middle. You have the King of Swords here, and you have the 5 of Swords here. What's happening here is balancing out how you try to embody this in a quite egoic world, how you embody this in a mental realm that's going to have a lot of 5 of Swords, that people are competitive. People often treat love like a battlefield, and sometimes in some ways love kind of is like a battlefield. You have to stand your ground and set your boundaries, but love is not really meant to be a battlefield. Love is, you know, something, a pure divine source in it. We should never get stuck in this. We should know when to walk away from this energy. We should know when something matters more than picking up swords. And swords are the mind, and rarely do they ever bring us much joy. They can do, and intellectual pursuits of course can bring us, you know, lots of good things, but not when they're stuck so heavily in us, not when we're so heavily in our minds. And the King of Swords is trying to embody this. It came before the 5 of Swords, so it's saying you're looking to embody this, you're looking to hold this. There's still a closed element, you're still working it out, but you're working out how that works in your mind, how that works with the people around you, who would need to be cut out. And this, you know, this King of Swords, you know, is working how to do that. You're embodying how to do that. There's a crown, there's butterflies, there's emergence. You know, there's community in here with like the 3 butterflies there as well, and there's a sense of downloads I'm getting with this lightning. I said, like, you're lit up, you're electrified, because it feels like you're ready to battle for this love in a way, and in a positive sense, not a Five of Swords sense, but to work hard for it. And that means picking your battles, that means knowing when to walk away, that means knowing who gets into that energy or not, which is what the King of Swords knows well. And it brings you love, it brings you conscious connections, it brings you fellow sea otters. You know, again, this is embodied, this pink, this is how this is looking to me, you know, like this. This is the journey. So you're feeling that love, you're sensing that love, you're walking away from the Five of Swords battles that do not matter. And this little face of this porcupine, like, really? And then you are looking to embody this King of Swords energy. Male or female, it's actually just like a female gorilla to me, but it doesn't really matter. And here you're in union with yourself. We're going to move on to this in a second. You're in union with yourself, and I like to see at the moment the lovers as conscious connections. So not just love and romance, it's conscious connections. That's what Gemini is about. It's about connections. Gemini is not necessarily the most romantic of the zodiac signs, but it talks to connecting with people, and that's part of what the lovers is. It's decisions. It's who's around you, and when you're embodying that divine love more in yourself, then you know you will find reasonably the partner for you, and with reasonable boundaries of how that love is, rather than just pouring out too much or too little. And so you're looking to go with the flow of love. You are looking to embody it and have it in your mind state, so you can understand how that works for you and how you can do that without getting hurt too much. But when you're able to do that and kind of surpass the egoic constructs of it, then you know, love and conscious connections flow freely into your life. Love flows into your life, and that's what it is. It's not sometimes we think too much about things. If you overthink it, then you're likely to take extra actions. You're likely to cause yourself extra suffering. That's just you. That's not even people around you. That's your own thoughts and your own mentality of going, you know, sometimes you just have to feel and sense it. And when you're comfortable enough in your egoic mind, then you can let a lot of your egoic mind go. And that would be what is well embodied in the King of Swords. So here we have stillness, and here we move on to a sense of, well, this gives a sense of what you're embodying. But interestingly, I said, what are you embodying? You're embodying the 12 jellyfish. You're embodying the 10 of Cups energy. And so it suggests to me that this is what you can pull in. And I'm interested to see what the next Affirmators card is for the Boundaries card. But for this Stillness Oracle card, you've got the 10 of Cups. So you're embodying a sense of satiety within yourself. You're embodying a sense of love within yourself that can be spread between communities. You may be in these communities already, and you're just going to bring more love to it, almost by taking yourself away, or knowing those times when you are disconnected. Sometimes the best way for us to bring love people is knowing when to disconnect, because if we're constantly in a state of giving and embroiled in family matters, relationship matters, work matters, or passion project matters, when we're constantly embroiled with it, and we don't take enough space for ourselves, and we don't take enough stillness to disconnect, then we become overwhelmed, we become burnt out. And so this 10 of Cups can't keep in a place of satiety. But this is what you are looking to embody, and this is what you are aware of through your individual connection with the divine. 2 of Cups. This gives a sense of somebody. Because moving from the Lovers of the 10 of Cups and then to the 2 of Cups, this is with boundaries. This is when you learn to put up your boundaries, you learn to assert your needs, you learn to give to somebody who is worth giving to, really. You know, it's saying when to open up and when to close up. And when you're able to do that, then 2 of Cups is available. These 2 seahorses, these 2 hearts, this other person, other people. You know, sometimes this can talk about an inner union, but I would say going from the Lovers and the 10 of Cups and this with the boundaries is saying you learning to let those people in and learning to collect with the people that follow on from this 10 of Cups. You come almost back to the start again. You know, you let the ace throw through to the 2 with the boundaries is that, yeah, you let in the people who are going to share that love with you and keep a constant and consistent flow. This is like the pouring out of it, but this is how it flows and how you keep it contained and how it doesn't just break down and how you don't get burnt out or how you never feel love at all. It's a consistent flow. And I asked where you're going. This wasn't really a reading about love. It wasn't intent to be, but when we're open to the divine, it will bring us a message. And this is saying where you're going is you're heading for love and those connections of love and a person to share that love with, which is beautiful. So let's give it a bit more elaboration with the Astro Matrix. And I've shuffled the other 2 decks, so I'll give this an extra shuffle too. Oh, look at this mess. And it came together nicely. So any mess can come together nicely, and anything nicely together can become a mess. With the love card. Okay. With the stillness card. And then with the boundaries card, please, Spirit. Boundaries are up. When I'm going to come out. Sliding slightly out the deck. I won't take it, but I'm intrigued to see the Emperor and the Six of Cups. Six of Cups talks to past life connections. The Emperor is embodying. So maybe this actually talks about moving beyond past connections, and Emperor can talk to boundaries and being embodied in yourself. So if you kind of embody that more, and being the masculine side, it talks about logic. You've got a King of Swords. You have another King of Swords, which I'll show in a second. But this is talking about you embodying the boundaries. You're like that vessel. You're like that flowing. You're like that Ace of Cups energy, but you're looking about where it goes and understanding how you keep it in that flow and how you give it a container and how you build things with it. The bottom of the deck is Chariot, so you're moving. So where are you going? You're moving now, and this is giving you a sense, embodying this love and understanding more the people around you with your boundaries and with your King of Swords understanding. You're moving more towards love. There's Cancer. Cancer's all about embodying love. It's all about the boundaries of love. It's the crowd, and it's like, knowing. Generally, Cancers I've met intuitively, not always, but intuitively generally know how to embody that love with someone. A lot of Cancers, they're with a partner, or when they find that partner, they're really with that partner. And they know how to, still share love with other people, but still how to keep those boundaries up and how to keep a flow of what they let in and what they let out. And so this is where you're going, and it's also movement. It's also, oddly, doesn't always assume that it's Cancer, because it's quite a fast-paced card, the Chariot. And it's an embodiment. It's a body of this yin and yang. It's a body of the masculine and feminine. It's a body of things in balance. And it's the moon, and the moon is revealing the things that, you're the moon. You're reflecting these things. This is what you're doing, but you're going with movement now. This is going, okay, you're going with movement as you are working on this. So the card that came out for the Love Oracle is the King of Swords. You have double King of Swords. It's a consistent state of embodying this. The Lovers, I've kind of, how it's fell on here is like this. King of Swords, Lovers, King of Swords. So it's going, again, you're working, I think this has come out 3 out of 4 days in a row, basically, or 3 and 3 days in a row. You're setting the right boundaries. You're learning when to push and when to pull, when to say something, when to say nothing at all, and how you show love effectively. Because here's the thing about love, and this is personal to me in a way, and maybe you relate to this, or maybe you don't, or maybe you relate to the opposite from somebody else. I'm not the best at turning the tap off sometimes. I'm not the best at learning when to draw back with love, because I believe in unconditional love and I believe in sharing love freely, but it's not the most effective and wisest way to do it. Effective is a word that you would associate with the swords, and especially the King of Swords and those court cards. And effective is especially the King of Swords. And it's like, without me knowing when to set those boundaries, that love can become unclear to others as well as to myself. And so embodying this is important for love, and because often you'll get descriptions of the King of Swords as cold and heartless, even like a well embodied or well aspected one, but that's not necessarily the case. The King of Swords just knows how love can flow and how love can be set in the mind, because it can overrun our minds, it can really destroy our minds sometimes, or it can not be there at all, and that's cold. That is cold in itself. So it's learning how to feel love and how to wield this sort of, okay, this is how I express it, this is how I communicate it, this is how I put boundaries up with it. With very, very swords and cups energy. Very swords and cups. And the lovers is air with hearts on it. So, stillness. With stillness you had the Ten of Cups, fly out, and you have the Ace of Swords. So you're coming to an understanding with it through the stillness, through these divine messages. You know, you're talking about kind of divine messages and downloads. This is you understanding a clarity on what this is. This is you kind of feeling it in your vessel and then clarifying it in your mind, and just getting divine downloads on how to move forwards in love. So, you know, as well as the King of Swords is embodying it, this is, you know, moving forward with it. This is new ideas. This is new clarity on what love means to you. Whether that's a person, whether that's a community, because this is the Ten of Cups area. This is getting clarity on what love is to you and what it means to you, and how you can move forward, how you can speak your truth with it, how you can bring people into it, really how you can communicate it and be clear on it in yourself. And with the Boundaries card, which has the Two of Cups, we have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles, which is new ideas. This is, you know, understanding where you are. You're like you've got a farm here, you've got kind of a rural area, but you're coming up with new ideas. You're maybe coming away from the farm, or coming out the farm, or you're learning how to work in the farm. You know, it's just saying that you're in a place where you're either moving on to new things in a way, or you're enhancing the things that you already have. But whatever the way is, it's coming up with new ideas, it's coming up with new boundaries, it's coming up with new ways to materialize it, places to be in. And there's the goat in particular is drawn my eye. There's a pig over here, but I'm drawn to the goat, which gives me Capricorn energy, and Capricorn is, you know, very much the embodiment of it. Capricorn is the kind of stricture of the earth suits, all the earth signs, but it's giving a sense that you're getting inspiration on it, and how you can really, you know, set the boundaries for this.
Hello. Come on, good boy. No, come on.
And so, yeah, you're getting ideas of how to materialize, how you set these boundaries, and really, again, how love can flow, but how you can also set a container. You know, the Page of Pentacles gives you ideas of how you can set a container, gives you ideas of how you can make these things realistic and grounded. And that farm element, again, gives me like a sense of being part of the earth, being part of a community, being part of something natural. And this is how you create your own community, your own natural, earthy community. So, best of luck with this. It's beautiful love coming in, and you're embodying it in beautiful ways. And I wish you the best with this. And this is where you're going, and have hope and optimism in where you're going, because it is a wonderful thing. And I feel again that warmth. So just feel that warmth, and that's a consistent warmth of divine love, and that flowing through your life. You're this kind of vessel for it, and you feel that warmth of, you've got the source energy coming in, and you set up the boundaries, and you have the communities around you, because, you know, that warm love is neither too fierce or neither too cold. It's neither makes people feel empty nor feel too full or too much or too intense. It's the brightness of the sun at the right element. It's the light of the moon with the right kind of light and guidance. So I wish you the best on that journey. I love you. I believe in you. Namaste.